Okay, it's been a while since I did a video like this, guys, but this is a huge thing that just came out today that I had to talk about, and it is kind of mind blowing, honestly. So, Nvidia has announced DLSS 5. So, for those that are unaware, DLSS is a technology that Nvidia has implemented into their graphics cards, which uses AI technology in order to be able to upscale images so that you can have a sharper image at a lower resolution, and then it gets upscaled to the target resolution so you can have as much performance as possible without really losing much in detail or quality in order to get the best possible frame rates at those resolutions. And they've been doing that for a while, but DLSS 5 is taking a completely different turn for that. Before we get into that, though, I do want to give a special thank you to the members on the channel. That's Alec HS, Artesk, Booker TX6, Brian Trusty Channel, Latina Gaming 88, Super Mega Graphics 64, 3 Free Willy, KM underscore 47, Alistor 923, Taladia Plays, and Call Me Astro 2111. So thank you very much for participating in the members program. So we're going to get right into this, guys. So this is DLSS 5. So you can see right here, this is Resident Evil Requiem. And you'll see in this sample image right here, on the left side here, this is without DLSS. This is apparently with all of the graphics turned to the max, including NVIDIA path tracing. That's the image on the left there. And then on the right, we have with the DLSS 5 turned on. So we're going to play this little video clip, show it. It's going to just show a quick little preview of the difference in the graphics here. This is how the game normally looks, and this is with the DLSS 5 turned on. So just keep a close look here. They're going to show here an image of Leon now getting out of the car. And you can see there's definitely some dramatic changes that they're showing here. They also got Hogwarts Legacy. So I guess it's actually a reel that's showing some different games off. Now, you'll notice something, just looking at these images, you'll notice something very particular about some of the way that certain imagery is handled in this technology. Certainly it's handled better in some games as opposed to others. It's with Starfield in particular, it actually looks pretty good, I will have to admit. Like, it actually makes quite a bit of a difference with Starfield. And I guess to some degree, EA Sports FC as well. You could see that it's doing certain things with the lighting and stuff like that. This is going well beyond what current DLSS technology does. But I want to point out something here. So this image right here with Resident Evil Requiem, for example, this is Grace, who is the new female protagonist in the game. This is how she looks, right? And then you see her on the right. Do you notice anything? Let me see if I can go ahead and full screen that. We'll make that image bigger, make that a little bit easier for you guys to see. What do you notice about this? Okay. I'll tell you what I notice about it. This literally looks like it's just an AI-generated image, because that is essentially what this is. This DLSS 5 is trying to make not just an AI approximation of the way it renders to make it sharper at a lower resolution when it upscales to higher resolution so that you can get that maximum performance off of your GPU. That's what the technology has been for. But it's actually making various reconstructions of the imagery itself. You can see, for example, the way that the lips are right here. See those lips right there? Compare them to this here. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen those mobile game ads with those AI-generated faces. This looks exactly like one of those AI-generated mobile game ad faces. Exactly. There's not a difference. Like, if you would have put this image here on one of those stupid clicking games where they show false gameplay, and you tell me that this was a character from that, I would 100% believe you because that's exactly what it looks like. But no, this is Resident Evil Requiem. There's just a lot of problems that I have with this picture right here. So for one, you'll notice right over here, you've got the actual reflection from the puddle there, where that lady with the umbrella is right there. You can actually see that. It's completely muted. It's no longer really visible. So that gets completely blended into the background. So it does have some trouble with certain background details like that. Of course, you can see the lighting, of course, has changed. The freezer door right here looks really weird. The cloth that's right here, it almost looks like it's painted. It doesn't really have a very good image. On the jacket here, you can see like where the zipper, I don't know what those are called. You know what they are. You know, like you zip the jacket, right? Those little lines that the zipper moves up and down. You can see there's a lot more definition on that in the original image as opposed to here. The grates right here definitely looks better. Definitely looks better. This is basically just like a baked-in filter. You've probably seen like those Sweet Effects videos of like some GTA, you know, they try to make it look all realistic and shit like that. That's what this is essentially doing, mixed with like this AI model reconstruction. So we'll go ahead and play through the video. We're going to critique some of the other stuff. Now, it does look sharper on the actual face model. You can definitely see the face does look a little plain there. I don't know. It's weird because from the images that I've seen playing the game personally, it doesn't look that blurry. And I'm not even using an Nvidia card. I'm using AMD. But this is how it apparently looks without the DLSS 5. I'm curious what other technologies they're using there. And then, of course, you can see, like, I mean, there is more detail that is coming out as a result here. But like I said, it has that weird, uncanny, like surreal look to it. Like it looks like it's just an AI generated image right there. Let's go ahead and move on to the Leon shot here. So let's go ahead and skip ahead. So this is Leon getting out of the Porsche, you know, the product placement Porsche that's in Resident Evil Requiem. You can see him right there. Keep a close eye at the hair stubble here as we move on to the other image. Okay. Now you'll notice that the lighting has basically been changed. So it's introducing a source of light that wasn't really present before. You know, the eyes definitely have a lot of a glow there. I don't know, it just doesn't look right to me. Like the hair stubble, it comes out a lot more here, but it just sticks out. It looks like all prickly. You know, which, I don't know, maybe that could be the intent. But it kind of looks like the fur on the hood of his coat there. Whereas, you know, they definitely have a different look like they should here. And okay, so those are like supposed to be trees, I guess, in the background. That looks kind of weird how that is. Now, this one right here is really crazy. This is a Hogwarts Legacy right here that they're showing off. And just keep a look at her face. Look how much it changes. Again, this is just an AI, one of those AI slop generated images. It's like, hey, AI, can you make me an old woman that is like a magic, you know, person in the Harry Potter universe? That's what this image looks like to me. It doesn't look like there was any kind of actual modeling because I'm sure the Portkey Games, they actually had modeled characters because like it's a huge budget game. They probably spent like a couple $100 million or something like that making this game. And it was a huge success, obviously. You know, it sold like a crap ton of copies. So, you know, they were able to easily make their money back. And then it's just like, hey, AI, just make the image. And look at the knuckles. She's got like hair on her knuckles with the DLSS 5. It's almost like she's not even human anymore. The hands look really weird compared. I mean, I guess they weren't like great looking before. I guess they look a little smudgy there, I suppose. Like they definitely do add a lot more definition to it, but it just looks freakish. I almost feel, and you could tell like right here, the tips of the fingers are just like missing now. You can tell they were there before. Well, I guess maybe not. Maybe those hand models weren't the best. We'll look at this one here. So I would say it's definitely a much nicer lighting in this particular scene. But again, it does have that AI look. Actually, in this case, it looks kind of like those cheap romance novels you see at Walmart. It looks like one of those images that you see there, which those are probably AI generated now, if we're honest, guys. But yeah, look at that image there. And then like the freaking weird looking dude, he doesn't change all that much other than they just add like a whole bunch of light from a light source that didn't previously exist. At least as far as we could tell. And it doesn't make a lot of sense anyways, because he's being lit from both sides. Is there lighting sources on both sides here? Like, what are they using to actually determine this model here? Now, Starfield was an interesting case because the graphics of this game were kind of all over the place. Bethesda definitely has a lot of talented people, but they're running this really old engine that they've been working with for like 20 plus years at this point. I think they started using it with Morrowind, if I'm not mistaken. That's how old this freaking engine is. And it actually, I will admit, it actually looks better in the case of Starfield. This definitely looks a lot more, not just realistic, but this actually doesn't look that AI. Like it does a little bit with this guy right here. He does look a little AI. But her and then the previous character we saw, they look pretty realistic. And then, of course, like we go back to the EA Sports FC, that actually looks just like the dude. This actually looks pretty good here. Although there is a weird thing going on with the ball right there. That's some really weird compression they've got going on there. So that's something they need to sort out. And then there's like this weird shimmering that appears on, you'll see it right here. You'll see this weird shimmering right there on the cloth for their uniform. So yeah, it is absolutely wild, this technology. And I can imagine like, okay, here's another one for Requiem right here. So they got this image right here where you can compare the scene. They got these little things here. And just note it's really weird what they're doing with certain things like the lips here. Now, there are certain things that look pretty nice. Like I would say the hair looks a bit better with this AI model. And it actually, this scene did look a little bit fuzzy on the lighting. It does kind of clean that up a little bit. But I don't know. It's just the way the lips look. It looks really fake. Of course, they're showing the image here. This is the one we've already seen of Leon. They're not showing anything new there. Let's see if there is another image. Okay, so here's some more Starfield. So this is with the DLSS on, and that's with it off. Like that's actually an improvement. But honestly, this is the only game where it's like, okay, I probably would play the game with it on like that, because it actually does seem like it does improve the actual overall like presentation of pretty much everything. Like even like the little details in the background look a bit better, than they do. Like that base right there looks kind of flat whenever you have the DLSS off, but you could see like the shadow and the lighting and stuff like that. It actually looks like an object as opposed to just being part of the background. But yeah, this is really wild stuff. They got their own custom demo that they did here. So this is with the DLSS off, and then that's with it on. So this is kind of an interesting case, because honestly, for me, this particular demo, this looks better for the most part, but the DLSS does clean up a few things that are majorly apparent. Like they have like this really weird kind of shadow that really sticks out right there. And then it's still technically there. They didn't do anything to address that. But it's a lot more muted. You're not really getting your eye kind of focused on that like you would before. You are just taking in more of the overall image, which is nice. I kind of like the look of the grass and stuff like that better. I like the way the shading is without it on right there. Again, they're kind of showing the face thing. It's kind of got that weird Starfield thing where it actually kind of looks better. But this one does look a little more like it's an AI generated image at the same time. And then we've got this right here. So they're showing off a comparison of like they got a platter of food here, you know, different fruits and things like that, some wine, and you can kind of compare the image here. So, it does look like it's got a little more depth to it. But at the same time, like this, it's just like one of those sweet effects filters that you can apply to games like Grand Theft Auto is all it's really doing at the same time. And they're trying to make it look like it's some kind of revolutionary technology. It's a really weird technology because like there are certain circumstances where I could see this being pretty useful. Let's see. But overall, it's just like a weird lighting change and effects change. I really don't get it, guys. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? You know, actually, it's kind of funny that we're talking about this because I don't know if you've looked at the Digital Foundry. Digital Foundry did a video for this here where they were talking about their views on it. And guys, they were getting roasted. And you'll just have to watch the video. I'm not going to like actually play the video here. I'm just going to stop it right there. But there are people, this is my, basically chat GPT. Yeah, that's my comment there. But there was like people like DLSS 5, F your art direction. Apply the slop filter, please, says no one ever. I thought this video was an April Fool's joke, but it's still March. You guys forgot to add this is an ad tag to the video. Thank God now all my games can look like Instagram AI ads. DF blink twice if Jensen Wong is holding your family hostage. It's basically when you throw an image at an AI and say, make it ultra realistic. You know, real-time AI and shitification filter was not on my 2026 bingo card. It should have been. It should have been. Yeah, somebody's making a real good casual sarcastic crack here. Digital Foundry is now fully independent and off the crack pipe. But no, like I love Digital Foundry. They did a really terrible job with their coverage of this. I will post a link in the pinned comment of this video. So, but those are my thoughts on this new DLSS 5. Let me know if you guys, I don't know, let me know what you think. Is this something that you're actually excited for? I really don't know what to think about this. I mean, when it comes to like DLSS itself, like I think that's kind of a cool technology. I really do. You know, because like it's, you know, these game developers, they don't really seem to optimize their games anymore. Because they're just using like Unreal Engine, which is kind of like a jack of all trades engine. It's meant to handle everything, and therefore it doesn't specialize in anything. And, you know, you get kind of sloppy results as a result. So technologies like DLSS is kind of a way for you to fight back against the poor optimization of games, right? But is this something we actually want? Do we want them to make the technologies actually fundamentally change the way we look at games, the way that artists design games? I don't know. Like, but I guess this is the world we live in now. So thank you very much for tuning into this video. If you happen to like this video, be sure to check out the previous one I did, and the algorithm's going to send something that it thinks you'll like. Hopefully you will. Please check it out. And don't forget to subscribe. But that's going to be the last line.